Farmer said, "You already tried. Okay, anyway, you can try again." The boy went inside. The boy said, "I have one condition. So, so far we had been playing and it's full of noise. Can you all remain calm for 5 minutes?" And then the boy went inside. They said, "Yes." The boy went inside. And then within 5 minutes, he came out with the watch. And then the farmer was quite happy and surprised how this boy was able to find this watch. And then he asked this boy, what did you do special in this 5 minutes that you couldn't do in the previous 1 hour? All of you didn't. I couldn't find it. And then the boy reasoned, "See, so far you had been looking for the watch when there was so much of noise. And already your mind is quite agitated. And you could not think properly. You could not look properly. But then when I went inside, I stopped you from making noise. All I did was I didn't just move around agitatedly. I just stayed calm, sit in one place, and tried to focus on the dial that is rotating. Tick, 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 tick. And the moment all the noise stopped from outside, the moment my mind became focused on hearing that, I could hear that from somewhere inside. It was a little bit inside the hay. The grass was covered and nobody could find it. But I followed that sound and went and picked up the watch from there." So here, a beautiful instruction that our mind and senses, as long as they are active in the material platform, it's like a lot of noise. We cannot focus on what is important to us. We have already lost what is important to us. As a living entity, what is important to us is to get back home, back to Godhead. We have lost our way. We have lost Krishna. We have to find Krishna within our mind. And in order to do that, we have to control our senses. The senses cannot create noise. And the mind has to become calm. Only then we can perceive the higher truth. That is why the control of the senses is very important. Without control of the senses, anybody who says, "I'm self-realized, but I don't have control of the senses. Whatever I like, I do." That is not a symptom of a self-realized person. So, Tani sarvani samyamya, Krishna says. Sarvani, all the senses, samyamya, control. Tani sarvani samyamya. How he controls? Not artificially. No, I will not see anything. I will not hear anything. I will not talk anything. The way to control the senses is also given by Krishna, which is yukta asita matparaha. Asita, that word, Krishna, Arjuna asked the question, isn't it? Kim asita, how he is situated. So Krishna is answering, yukta asita matparaha. Yukta asita means he is yukta. Yukta means engaged. Engaged. His situation is that he is engaged in matparaha, in Krishna consciousness, in relationship with me. In this way, the senses are engaged in me, in my service, and they are not engaged in Maya. That is how you control the senses. Vashehi yasya indriyani. Vasha means you subjugate the senses. So in this world, we are subjugated by Maya. And we act based on however we are influenced. And we think we are free and happy and liberated and nobody is controlling me. We seek independence from tyranny and people who are like India sought independence from British, and people, they try to seek independence from a bad ruler, or people look for women's liberation or, Black Lives Matter, whatever it is, some section of people, when they are oppressed, they seek liberation from that. The moment they get that liberation, they think, yes, now I have independence. So India got the independence. And similarly, many groups who were oppressed, they got independence. They think now we are free. But ultimately, nobody is free in this world because we are all under the vasha of the Maya. But we don't realize. We think we are free. The other day I was driving the car, and on the side of the street, I saw a dog and the dog's owner. The dog was playing, it's a front yard of the house. So the owner was walking the dog. And the dog, small dog, he went into the lawn of that house. And he was just, enjoying. He was just falling down, and he was flapping his legs and, all kinds of things, because he found that lawn very nice and happy. And then this owner was looking at the dog. And then he looked at it for, I was just passing by. And the dog has been there for some time. And the owner said, okay, now it's time coming. Pulled the leash, and the dog was dragged, and the dog started walking again. All that fun the dog had for that few moments and whatever minutes, it all ended the moment he pulled that leash. So I was thinking, the living entity is also like that, like the dog, and we are leashed. Maya is holding us with a leash. And sometimes we enjoy, and the moment the quota of enjoyment is done, now come on. Now you have to work hard. Now you walk along with me. We think we are independent, but we are constantly being pulled by Maya. So there are two things, Goswami and Godasa. We are all Godasa. Godasa means we are servant of the senses. However, the senses are pulling me, I am going in that direction. And we think we are independent. Isn't it? The tongue is pulling me always. Why don't you eat this? And I'm helplessly being dragged. Even though I know it is not good for my health. Even though I know it is not good for my sleep. Whatever it is. I still, because my tongue is dragging me, I have to do it. Like that, all the senses, they drag me in different directions. Sapatnya iva gehapatim lunanti, Prahlad Maharaj says. Just like a person who is married to multiple wives, and when he goes home, they are all pulling him in different directions. There is no peace for that person. So that is called Godasa. Whereas Goswami means he is not under the vasha of the senses. The senses are under the vasha of him. Goswami, he is the master, Swami of the senses. Go means senses. So we can choose either we want to be the servant of the senses or the master of the senses. So Krishna is asking you become the master of the senses. Second one. Vashehi yasya indriyani tasya prajna pratisthita. When you control the senses and engage the senses in the service of Krishna, that is the symptom of the person who is liberated or who has transcendental consciousness. Tasya prajna pratisthita, fixed prajna. He has fixed consciousness. He is a man of steady intelligence. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Sukadeva Goswami gives a wonderful analogy. So, before I tell the analogy, I'll tell this incident. So, there was this in Las Vegas a few years ago, several years ago. I've heard of this incident. Las Vegas is a place of gambling, but it is also a place for extremely wealthy people all over the world who come to enjoy. And there were a lot of shows. Even now, there are a lot of shows, different kinds of shows. So they perform. So there was one performance where these wild animals were performing, and there was this man who was performing with the wild animals. Usually, the wild animals are crazy. Not crazy because they are wild. That's how naturally they are, and nobody dares to be closer to them. But this man tamed them, particularly this lion, and the lion was doing whatever he was saying. He was going and embracing and putting his hand in the mouth, and the lion was doing everything. The people are all watching. He's doing the tricks with the lion. But one day, all of a sudden, right in front of the audience, it's quite embarrassing. So many distinguished people, they were sitting and eating and watching this. And suddenly, this lion, grrr, he turned against this man, and with his claws just sliced the whole body open. And somehow they used some kind of a numbing guns and stopped the lion from further attack, and took this man, rushed him to the hospital, and he was in a very critical condition for several days. I don't know whether he survived or his life was cut short because of that. So why I am saying that is because Sukadeva Goswami tells a shloka in Srimad Bhagavatam where he says a hunter must be very vigilant to keep guard over his captured animal. Because if he is inattentive, two things might happen. One is the animal may escape from the captivity, or worse even, the animal might turn against this hunter at the least expected moment and devour him. So the point Sukadeva Goswami was trying to say from that example is that the senses are like wild animals. We are like the hunter. First, we need to tame the senses, capture them. And even after capturing them, we need to be very vigilant. We have to keep always vasha. Vashehi yasyendriyani. So the Native American Indians, they have a very interesting way of explaining what is scientifically described in Bhagavad Gita. It's very basic but to the point. They say that within every human being, within our consciousness, live two dogs. One good dog and a bad dog. And both are barking. The good dog is barking and the bad dog is barking. They both want food. So this bad dog is our lower nature, the egoistic nature, our envious nature, lusty nature, greedy nature, angry nature. And the good dog is our higher nature, the nature that is inclined for devotion to God, Krishna consciousness, towards piety, morality, compassion for others, forgiveness, tolerance. So these are the two dogs. These two dogs are barking. Now, which dog is going to overcome the other? The question is there. One dog has to win. So which dog is going to overcome the other? The answer is that the one you decide to feed the most. When we feed the dictations of the bad dog, it gets stronger, stronger, and stronger. It doesn't get weaker. People mistake. Oh, if I satisfy my lust, oh, lust is satisfied. No, lust, that is the food for the lust. The food for karma is you provide karma. The food for anger is you act on anger. The food for greed is you act on greed. You become more greedy. So you succumb to the dictations of this bad dog. That means you are providing food to the bad dog. And the bad dog is becoming stronger and stronger. Whereas you stop giving food, which is Vashehi Yasyendriyani, Tani Sarvani Samyamya. Krishna is saying, control the senses. Means don't feed the bad dog. If you feed the bad dog, it will become stronger and stronger. Now, how do I not feed? There has to be some feeding going on. You feed the good dog. You feed the good dog means just like this bad dog becomes stronger by feeding those qualities, the good dog becomes stronger by feeding those good qualities. By reading about Krishna, by chanting Krishna's holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. By associating with devotees. By visiting the temple, worshipping the deity, doing services to the deity, or even if one cannot do all of this, donating for Krishna, it increases these good qualities. And eventually the good dog becomes stronger. So life is all about that. Which dog we want to be stronger in our consciousness. So both has to be done. We have to restrict the food to the bad dog so that these qualities go down. And we have to increase the food so that good qualities go up. That's what Srila Prabhupada mentions in the purport. The way to control our senses effectively is by focusing on what is good. And what is ultimate good? Savai manah Krishna padara vindayo vachamsi vaikuntha gunanu varnane. So Ambarish Maharaj's example, Prabhupada gives. Ambarish Maharaj, he was a king. That means he had to deal with a lot of kingly activities. One time, but he was a great devotee. One time this Durvasa Muni picked up a quarrel. Durvasa Muni is a great Muni. He is fully in tapasya and controlling the senses and all of that. But he became unnecessarily angry. Oh, Maharaj Ambarish, without me coming, he broke his fast. So that ego came to the fore and he became angry unnecessarily. Out of pride, he could not check his senses. So he tried to kill, he released a demon, fierce demon, to kill Ambarish Maharaj. But Ambarish Maharaj was a pure devotee of the Lord, constantly protected by Krishna. And Krishna released the Sudarshan Chakra that immediately killed the demon and went after Durvasa Muni. And Durvasa Muni could not get shelter. He ran away from that. He tried to run for 1 full year. He even went to the Lord in Vaikuntha. The Lord said, no, only Ambarish Maharaj can help you. So he came and finally submitted to Ambarish Maharaj, who excused him. So there Prabhupada mentions how Ambarish Maharaj conquered his senses. A devotee of the Lord silently tolerated all the sages' injustices, thereby emerged victorious. The king was able to control his senses because of the following qualifications as mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Savai manah Krishna padara vindayor vachamsi vaikuntha gunanu varnane karau harer mandira marjanadishu shrutim chakarachyuta satkathodaye. So firstly, he focused his mind in controlling or on reposing his mind on Krishna's lotus feet. That is the first thing we have to do. Krishna padara vindayoho manaha vachamsi vaikuntha gunanu varnane. His words are used to describe Krishna and Krishna's residence, the planet Vaikuntha, Goloka. Karau, his hands in Harer Mandira Marjanadishu, in cleansing the temple of the Lord. Of course, he had kingly duties. So, how was he able to clean the temple? That means he employed two meanings. One is he employed the resources of the state. He managed the state in a way that people always had service to Krishna, including Mandira Marjana. So through them he performed Mandira Marjana. He also personally performed Mandira Marjana. His mind was always thinking, even though he was performing various duties as a king, in the mind he was always meditating on Mandira Marjana, like that. Shrutim, in this way, Shrutim Chakara Achyuta Sat Kathotaya, his ears always in hearing about Achyuta Sat Katha, the glories of Krishna. Mukunda Lingalaya Darshane Drushau, his eyes in seeing the deity of Krishna. Prabhupada says, you have darshan of the deity and keep the deity in your eyes, in your mind through the whole day. You become Krishna conscious. So like that. Tadbhrutya Gatra Sparshenga Sangamam, his touch in touching the bodies of devotees. Granam, his smell in Tatpaja Saroja Saurabhe. Srimat Tulasya Rasanam, the smell of the tulsi buds, tulsi leaves offered to Krishna. So in this way, Padau Hare Kshetra Padanu Sarpane, his feet in walking to the places of pilgrimage of Krishna. Shiro Hrishikesha Padabhivandane, his head in offering his obeisances to Krishna. And his kamam, what about his desires? Kamam cha dasye natu kama kamyaya. His desires, his senses are used in serving Krishna, in satisfying the desires of Krishna, not for kama kamyaya, not for sense gratification. So all this qualification, yadhottama shloka janashraya ratihi, all these qualifications made him fit to become a matpara devotee of the Lord. So these are the qualifications, or this is how he conquered his senses. So our senses can be completely controlled only by the strength of devotional service to Krishna. So another beautiful example is given, like the fire. So as the small flames within burn everything within the room, similarly, Lord Vishnu, situated in the heart of the yogi, burns up all kinds of impurities. So only when we'll invite the light of Krishna within us, only then the darkness of Maya goes away. That light simply can be lit by chanting the holy names. Cheto Darpana Marjanam, that the mirror, our mind is like the mirror. Right now it is contaminated, it is dusty, it is foggy. We cannot even see who we are. How we can cleanse the mirror? We can cleanse our body externally with a soap. But internally, how we cleanse? Nobody can cleanse. Only Krishna can cleanse. Only the holy name, Krishna is non-different from the holy name, particularly in this age. People don't have time to visit the temple. People don't have time to do meditation. People don't have time to go out and perform yagnas, arrange for sacrifices, get qualified brahmanas. People don't have time to do all kinds of charities, find the right person and do the charity according to the rules and regulations, and go to pilgrimage places, take bath and meet holy people. They don't have time nor energy, nor they have short duration of lifespan. The easiest and best method to cleanse our mind is Cheto Darpana Marjanam, Bhavamahadavagni Nirvapanam, Shreyaha Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadhu Jivanam, Anandambudhivardhanam Pratipadam Purnamrutasvadanam, Sarvatmasnapanam Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. It is only by Sri Krishna Sankirtana, anybody at any place, simply by being in that place, taking up the chanting of holy names, we can effectively control the mind. But we have to hear the names. Whatever we chant, we have to hear carefully, and that captivates us. That captivates the mind, gives the higher taste, and we can easily conquer the lower taste. I'll stop here. Anyone has any questions or comments, feel free to unmute yourself. Bhagavad Gita as it is ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.